Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Sarah Lyon and
Camile Periat with another amazing episode of the Bikini Show, brought to you by
today, Maximum Beauty, of course, Competition Glam. We can't wait to get back to our regular season, get you guys all glammed up, get you ready to go for this stage. I hope everyone is, still prepping for the most part.
He did order his makeup. Doesn't he look smashing?
There's our little mascot.
Yeah. Jumpers.
Right.
So Sarah, tell everybody who we have on today.
We have yet another male, second male to make it on the Bikini Show. And this time we are hosting coach of Team Elite Physiques, Adam, who is also, many of you may know him or may know of him better as Ashley Kaltwasser, three-time Miss Bikini Olympia's coach. And he is filled with information, knowledge. He has a very successful team out of Denver, Colorado. And we're super excited to give you guys yet another coach's perspective. Everyone really enjoyed hearing from James with Team Atlas. And now we're going to bring you guys another one. And this coach is here from the States. So
yeah. And Adam he's a really nice guy. He has a lot of really interesting coaching methods, amazing facility out in Colorado that I would love to visit sometime. So it's gonna be really interesting to hear his strategy, methods, and dive a little deeper into the way he coaches his athletes.
Yeah, and I'm sure everyone wants to get some knowledge from who coaches Miss Bikini Olympia. Well, Miss three-time Miss Bikini Olympia. Ashley we'll have to go through a full episode of, our opinions on certain things, but in my opinion, Ashley is the GOAT of the bikini division. So
she has a physique that is just very unique, and
yes.
It's incredible.
She's a true athlete, and I think that's what her physique resembles. So let's get him on here. Wow, this tan and dust filter is freaking everything. Okay. Hey, everybody. I am on here with Miss Camile Periat, and we are about to record the Bikini Show with Team Elite Physiques, Adam. We're super excited to have him on. So if you guys want to ask him anything, if you guys want to know anything, we didn't do a story with questions, but go ahead and just message me on here and I'll see it and we'll be asking him whatever we need to. All right. See you guys soon. I'm so bad at those things.
Talking to.
My phone. Oh, was my phone not in there? Oh, whoops.
It was in there, but at first I was like, are we on now?
Like, what the fuck? Sometimes when I talk how I talk, I'm like, wow, don't do that on camera, man. Kyle's gonna use that.
It's great.
When you're your normal, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of quirky.
Quirky's good. It gives personality. Otherwise it's like wah wah.
Right.
So here we are again.
I really like I really like your headband though. You are your age, I would like to see some ID, please.
Some what?
I would like to see a little ID.
Oh, I have it.
Dude, there's no way you're 40.
Oh, I am. But thank you. That's really sweet. I paid.
I'm not even trying to be sweet though. I'm like, what the fuck? I honestly think that you have better facial lines than I do.
Patch in here. Actually, it doesn't show on camera, but it's like a full-on gray patch.
There's no way.
Well, you know what? Botox and fillers works wonders.
It does. That's so true. When did you start?
I started right after I had my daughter when I was 30.
Okay, that's when I was told to start.
Yeah, I started at 30, and I don't go too crazy because I don't like it when my face changes like that. Sometimes a couple of times I've gone overboard, and you're like a freak. So
right. No, yours looks really, really good. Is it the person who does yours in Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
Cool. I met a chick when I was in Beverly Hills at Fred Siegel. Have you ever been? It's my favorite store in the whole wide world. And okay, so the chick that was helping me there, she was seriously the most beautiful, like perfectly aged woman I had ever seen. She had no makeup on. Like you could totally tell, no makeup, not even powder. And I was on a girls trip, so me and my girlfriend, we were definitely a little buzzed on our way to Fred Siegel, which was the worst idea ever. Like, don't ever go drunk shopping in the most expensive store. Holy shit.
A basic white tank shirt like this is like $250.
I was gonna say, yeah, $250 just for that. Yeah, I dropped a nice penny there. So we're there at the store. I'm a few margaritas in at that point, and then they served us rosé right when we walked in. And anyways, the woman who was my like shopper, if you will, she she was so beautiful, and I just couldn't help myself, and I didn't really care because I was like, we're in LA, who cares? Everyone gets it done. And I was like, wow, your Botox looks amazing. And my girlfriend looked at me and she was like, what did you just say to that woman?
But
And I was like, who cares? And the girl like ran with it. She was like, oh, my doctor's the best. Let me give you his name and number, blah, blah, blah. Like, cause she had like the right amount of like age lines, if you will, around her eyes. But like the rest of her face was like, it was just, yeah, flawless.
you know what I do? And actually it's, have you ever heard of microneedling?
Yeah. Yeah. I get microneedling done.
So I bought a kit online. You can buy like the Dr. Pen and it works great. So then I buy the hyaluronic acid, like in the, and then I get the numbing gel, and I do every like 5-6 weeks, I'll do microneedling all over the face. I'll numb my face, and then I'll use the hyaluronic acid serum, and then I microneedle.
And you just do it yourself. So actually, now that you're saying that, I need to reach out to my esthetician. Shout out to Christina Guerrero. She's freaking phenomenal. She works at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills, but she used to be here in Chicago. She has saved my life, my skin. We can go over that maybe on a different platform. But anyways, what?
A whole beauty episode.
Oh yeah, we should for sure. Yeah, we definitely should. We could get like a couple of different people on for it too. But she sent me, now that you're saying that, I think she sent me one.
Adam's getting my email.
Oh, sure.
Keep talking. I'm listening.
Oh, right. But anyway, she sent that to me, but I haven't opened it yet, and I need to reach out to her. She sent me a whole like little goodie bag box of a bunch of different skincare things and face stuff, which was so sweet of her. And one of the things in there was a microneedling, but I'm just kind of, once you get it done and you know the process and you know what it is, I can't. Do you watch yourself in the mirror then when you do it?
Yeah. So, if you've done it before, then it's probably even better for you because you know what to do. I had to just watch a lot of tutorials, and a friend of mine was kind of explaining how to do it. And it comes with all the different gauge needles and everything. And you adjust.
So you switch the needles out.
Well, no, I start with just one set of needles, but there's different, like, there's like 12
lengths.
Yeah, different. Well, you adjust the length on your device.
Got it.
And the depth that you're going to penetrate.
Sure. Yeah, just how she does it. Yeah.
Size, you turn it down to like 0.25 millimeters, and then like as you on like the cheeks, you can go deeper. But that's what I do, and I numb myself so I don't feel it, and then after about 15-20 minutes it starts to wear off, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. But it works.
Oh yeah.
It works great.
Yeah, it does. I did it, I had a flare up at one point, and that's when I started microneedling to help, just break the skin so it started producing collagen more, because that's what the microneedling essentially does. And that has done wonders. But yeah, they say that microneedling is actually technically for anti-aging. So that makes a lot of sense. So that's good to know.
And you can get the kit, or you can like build your own kit. And I spent a total of like $290.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Doing your lips, it makes your lips fuller. It's great.
Yeah, I want to get my lips done.
All right, Mr. Adam.
Oh my God, my story didn't even freaking post. Take two. Hey everybody, Camille and I are on. We are about to start recording right now with Team Elite Physiques, Adam. He is a coach. Probably you guys know him as Ashley Kaltwasser's coach. So we are about to interview him here for another episode of the Bikini Show. If you guys have anything you guys want us to ask him, anything like that, go ahead and just message me on here. We didn't get to do a questionnaire how we usually do, so message me. We'll see it, we'll ask him, get it done for you. That turned into 3 stories when it was 1 second for the last word. Are you hearing my Instagram story? Yeah. I hate these things. Like, I just suck at them. That's why I don't do them.
You don't suck at them. You and I don't like doing his live videos.
When you and Kyle were like, let's do a Bikini Show live, I was like, why would you even suggest that? Why would you suggest that? Hey guys, this filter's the shit. Camille and I are about to interview Adam from Team Elite Physiques. You guys probably know him as Ashley Kaltwasser's coach. There's Camille. Say hi, Camille.
Hi.
So if you guys have any questions for him, if you have anything you want us to ask him, go ahead and just message me. We didn't get to do a normal questionnaire, so we will go ahead and get it done for you. We will look forward to you guys watching this next show. But Sandy Williamson released tonight on Maximum Muscle Report. You guys have to watch it. It is a must watch. That was the end of that.
I can't wait to watch that.
I'm posting it. Me neither.
What's up, Adam?
I am so sorry, guys. I finished up. We don't get any appointments in here right now, so when I came in, I was like, I took a little longer than I should have.
No, you're totally fine.
You probably took that chance to like be social and talk to another human being.
You know what? It's actually not too bad. You know what? You know who's in that other room is Ashley. You want to say hi to her?
Yeah. We were just talking about her.
We were out yesterday in Vegas, and it was crazy. I'll tell you.
Oh, how fun.
Oh, this is like a bonus.
Hey, Ash. This is Camille and Sarah.
Oh. I'm going to stay out here.
Okay, nice little light. Hi, how are you guys?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. You guys are like both glowing, man. I don't know if that's your highlighter or your lighting or your skin. Glowing.
What's up with that? I'm trying to get my light right.
Yeah. That natural light.
So.
Oh my goodness. So you guys went over to Vegas
for a day. Yeah, we flew in at 6:30.
Wow.
You have to tell us, how were the airports? How was the flight?
Great. Yeah, it was fine.
Empty?
Empty. 20 people on both flights.
Wow.
Which sucks, but we had.
Spread out.
Yeah, what sucks is that I feel bad for the airlines because the tickets are super cheap. They're like to Vegas. If we waited a week, it would have been $16 a flight. But yeah, both.
What?
So, I know, 16 there, 16.
Like, I don't know, it's a little steep.
Yeah. And then, but Ashley booked it because she's moving there, so that's cool. So she's gonna move to Vegas.
Wow.
And then, yeah, she's moving to Vegas. I'm gonna open up a prep center out there eventually. And yeah, so it just makes sense.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that'll be really cool. That's like, and that's, Vegas, the Olympia, little hub there. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, we'll see if the Olympia is still there though, right? We don't even know. USA's is already in LA, so
Oh.
I
know that.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
Really?
USA's got moved to LA this year on December, so it might even stay there. Who knows?
Wow.
Wow. That's so interesting.
Have an outdoor Olympia in some big field. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in Colorado, you guys just opened up today, didn't you?
I don't know really the scenario. Colorado opened up like April 27th or something. The governor said we can open.
Oh.
And then our mayor of Denver was like, no, you can't. So the mayor and the governor aren't like agreeing. And then the governor said we can do one-on-one sessions. So one-on-one appointments. And then the mayor said, no, now he's saying the 8th, but he's like super, what's it called?
Conservative?
Yeah, he's more conservative and wants to not do that. So, yeah.
Well, so that's good to know because you're the first person that we're interviewing then from Colorado. So it's nice to hear what's going on out there. And it'll just be interesting to see how the shows end up going. Because, yeah, I mean, at this point, basically everything's canceled till July. And I know at least for the Maximum Muscle Report schedule, we only have 2 shows left on our full weekends of July booked. There's only 2 shows that still haven't been rescheduled. So we're anticipating them to be, but hopefully not, of course, hopefully not.
Yeah, I think, so this is what I think is, I know that the Europa is still possible, that it's still possibly happening. I just think that this is what I'm running into a lot of too, is like at least out here, what happens so far is the promoters don't want to like take that loss because no one wants to do the shows. The problem is they both have a point because the promoters don't want to do the show because they're going to lose a lot of money in the first show because no one right now is like prepping for that show. But as like we have to get it started again, someone's going to have to take that hit, And so I honestly think that the trainers need to step up and that everyone needs to contribute. And that's why I'm like, hey, if I take a loss, I don't really care because it's like at a certain point, like I think that like trainers, like especially like if you get to like being like the top trainers, like you're doing okay, you're making good money and you got to give back to the community, And so I think all of the big trainers, all the big name trainers that have extra income, they should be giving towards the promoters sponsoring more shows and being like, hey, we know you're going to take a loss, and promoters don't make that much in general unless they're like big time promoters, just like trainers, smaller time trainers make less than big time trainers. Like, and so I get it, and they should be helping the smaller time promoters being like, hey, let's get the show started. Let's get our industry going again because that first show is going to suck. That first show, a lot of people they want to see that first show happen before they even commit to doing another show because they've been pushed back after show after show after show. So I get it. And that's why, and I told that just so you guys can have it on your podcast too, because I threw it on my podcast, that if any promoter out there is like hesitant on getting their show started because of that, because they know they're going to take a loss, like I will go to your show. I will help fund your show. I'm not asking for anything in return. I just want to like be there, maybe do a live stream on it to show everyone, hey, let's get this going again. Let's start competing. If you guys got to wear masks while you're competing, who cares? Have Angels or Ravish Sands throw some bling on it and get it started again. But smile. Yeah, like a smile bling.
Smile of like blings, yeah.
Yeah, no, because I think it's like we all got to step up. Like the suit makers, everyone who's like taking from the industry should like be contributing towards it right now because there's so many like small gym owners and stuff hurting. And if you're in the position to be like helping getting it going again, I think they absolutely should. So if there's a promoter out there, they want me out there, I'm happy to do like a live stream and do like a live cast of it and like, and MC it or whatever you want to call it. So we can get to see it, so people can see it, see it happening, and get excited about it again. So,
Adam, that's so awesome.
That is.
Someone needs to do it. I don't know what the hell's going on out there.
Right?
Yeah.
No.
And that's what it is though. It's certain leaders that end up stepping up to, it's the same thing with like those businesses that end up wanting to be the first to open or, they take that plunge and then make things happen, and then other people see it and they're like, okay, we can get on the same train too.
That's totally what it is, because we had a promoter out here who was like, he was fully capable of doing his show. Like there was no reason he didn't have to move it back, but he moved it back because he knows it's not going to be numbers and he's going to probably lose money. And
so you guys don't have any restrictions on like the amount of people to gather then?
So that show, the show I'm talking about was like, so the Mile High, Jeff, the promoter out here, he didn't want to have it because because of the restrictions of people flying in for the pro show, it's a pretty big disadvantage or advantage to someone who's American, right? Who doesn't, because there's going to be no one from overseas. So it's like just whatever, 12 people from local is probably what it's going to be. So that's not really a fair scenario to get someone qualified for the Olympia type of thing. So I get that argument. And he also was like, well, if we do it, because I talked to him, I was like, hey, I'll fund it. I don't care. Let's just do it at a restaurant or something. I'm like, and there's a restaurant that allowed us to do it, and with a banquet hall. And he's like, well, there's no one that wants to do, because that would have like happened a couple of days ago. He's like, there's just no one ready at this point. So he said no to that one because of the scenario of like no one competing. So I understand that one's too soon. But the one in June, like late June, like that promoter just doesn't want to lose money on it, which is a valid reason. I get it. So, but that's what you're running into now is the promoters are like, they're not 100% sure it can happen. And then they don't want to lose money on that risk. And I'm like, hey, we all got to be a little bit of a gambler right now to get this started again. There's people out there dieting for 20 plus weeks because their show was supposed to be a month ago. And like someone needs to step up and take care of these athletes, And I think that the people that are profiting from it should, I think that if you're in this industry at the upper levels, you're overpaid. There's no reason that you shouldn't step up and give back, so.
Well,
I think it's hard too. I think a lot of people are stuck in like, a rock and a hard place, if you will, with their decisions between overhead and then the government and, all those different variables playing into it. But I totally understand and totally see your opinion and what you're saying that needs to happen. And I think it's awesome that you're saying that and stepping up to the plate to offer that.
Yeah. And I think that with the shows, like how they're laid out, there's no reason that we can't do it in a way that meets the guidelines, Hopefully they allow, like they give us that consideration. It sounds like they're not going to be restricting those things if we do it the right way, as long as we have, and I talked to Jeff already about it, who's our local chairman. If we just had, hey, bikini is from whatever, 10 to 12 and no other classes can come. There's no audience right now, but we'll live stream it for the time being. Everyone's, whatever, you have to wear a mask if you have to wear a mask, whatever, in your county, in your city, whatever. And then there's a half-hour break, and then men's physique is from 12:30 to 2:30, whatever, and you keep them separated backstage. There's a way of doing it where we can meet all the guidelines. I'm not saying be reckless and just get it going.
Right.
I'm saying
throw them in there.
Just throw them in and go for that herd immunity. No, there's a way of doing it where you can still get it going and be smart, even if you have to do judging in like a recorded scenario. There's ways of making it work. So it's just a matter of.
So we just had Sandy Williamson on our last episode, or 2 episodes before this one's going to be aired, and just talking about how they're looking at potentially doing, like, if they have to, like, depending upon what their requirements are, maybe women will be one day down to division, so it can be really kind of spread out. They're looking at all different options, but it's stressful. But one thing I must say that I think is really important for everyone in every industry during this time is breaking down those barriers. If there was any kind of competition, now is the time that everyone really needs to come together, help each other out to get things back up and rolling. Like what you're saying with, trainers who are maybe have extra disposable income to help contribute to promoters to get the shows rolling, because it's going to help everybody. Promoters working together. In my industry, you're in the same industry, the gym industry, like we're working with all local gyms in the area to come up with some plans to present to our mayor, but we have to work together rather than being, that one person still holding those competitive boundaries.
Yeah, I don't know where that whole thing even started anyway. Where did that even start? Where people like didn't work together? Like this sport is so hard as it is. Like, why would you ever, like, I'm the guy that everyone knows, like, I'm never gonna like try to recruit someone's athletes. I'm everyone's friend, and I'm like, dude, if you're coming against me, you're in a fight with yourself. I'm not gonna fight with you. So like, I don't get it. There's like, it's so weird how that even exists. There's like, some of these teams are like, oh, it's the Broncos versus the Raiders. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's just like our name of our team, it's not like you're against another team. It's an individual sport, so it's like, you see that happen. And like, it's like it's the culture of like how the coach does it, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, there's how many like registered NPC cards out there, like tens of thousands, and you're like, we need like 100 clients to be successful, and you're like fighting with someone. I'm like, you need like less than 0.5% of the market, and you're like trying to like sabotage people. It's just so crazy. I never understood it. I'm friends with any trainer who wants to be friends with me, I'm friends with. And so
and that is so true, Adam. You have always been so pleasant every time we see you. And I know it was really just last year that I had gotten to see you in person and chat with you in person at the Mile High, actually. And you are so welcoming. So we are super excited to dive into this more about you and about what you have going on. So Camile, do you want to kick it off with what we wanted to start our questions with?
Yeah. So Adam, how long have you been a coach, and what made you get into this industry, or what inspired you?
You know what's crazy? Or actually, this is cool. I'll show you. My mom gave me this for my birthday. This is Mickey Muscles. Look at that date, 1992. So that's.
Oh my gosh.
I was 10 years old and I was obsessed with muscles at like 10. I used to draw this guy all over. His name was Mickey Muscles. My mom thought I called him Mr. Muscles. She's probably right. I don't remember. I thought it was but for my I forget what birthday. I think it was like my 30th birthday. She gave me this. So like I've always been just completely obsessed with it. I don't know what the problem with me is with that stuff. But since I can remember, like I loved muscles. I just loved Rambo and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these guys. And I just always wanted to like, I just loved it always. But then what really changed, I was like 12 years old. I broke my arm and then I gained weight because the doctor said, hey, if you kept moving around too much, we'd have to have surgery on your arm because it was a double break. And my mom like sat me on a couch and just like fed me. And so the whole summer, and my sister was like, you're fat. You like gained weight. And then I was like, oh no, I'm fat. So like, I did the dumb thing. You don't know anything when you're a kid. So I drank Diet Coke and I ate salad for over a year. It must've been at least a year. That's all I did. I was like so nutrient deprived. Like I was like the worst, but you don't know when you're a kid. And so that was like where it started. And then I started working out when I was like 13 or 14 because some girl said, that I need to get bigger, but weightlifting really wasn't an option for me. We were like really low income family. And so when I got to high school, I was able to lift weights because they had high school weightlifting. So we lived in like an apartment, and like my mom, she didn't have a room. She slept on the couch. So like we didn't have so there's no way I could get exercise equipment until I got in school. And then after that, I don't think I didn't work out from when I joined weightlifting class till I was 21, like not a single day, like not even Christmas Day. I would take a day off. I was just totally obsessed with it. And
wow.
I was like a skinny kid, I wrestled at 119. I was super, super skinny, couldn't put on any muscle. And so like, I knew that the only way I wanted to be Mr. Olympia like everyone, right? And the only way that I could do it was if I learned this stuff, because genetically I knew I was never going to be like gifted, So if I learned it really, really well, then I could maybe have an edge on someone. And that turned into me working at a nutrition store at 16. I started working at this nutrition store. And I started doing programs for like bodybuilders because I thought these guys were so cool. I was 16. And so like, I was like, the bigger you were, the cooler you were to me, because I just loved muscle for my whole life. So then when I started learning all this stuff and like really diving into it, because there was no internet around back then, like internet, I don't even think the internet came out yet. And like, it was like, like we weren't using it if it was. Yeah. So I was reading like books and reading like journals and reading research reports and stuff. And I was coming up with, to them, it was all new stuff, And so they were like, they would go to the nutrition store and they were like, go see Doogie at the nutrition store. They called me Doogie, all these older guys, because they like thought I was smart, but really I was just like repeating research information that I learned that week. But I was getting pretty good at it, at like learning it, because I just wanted to like, I wanted to like impress him. I was just like, I would be like, oh, I wanted to impress this guy, and like, and then I started helping bodybuilders at like 16, and then as soon as I turned 18 is when I started working at 24 Hour Fitness as a trainer. So like they didn't let me take my test until I was 18, ISSA. And then, and then now we're here. So yeah, it's crazy, right?
Well, another question. So you, maybe explain a little bit about your coaching style, but you're known for all of the amazing tests and scientific methods that you use with your coaching. And it's very fascinating. I would love to sometime come out and visit you. I've messaged you that in the past.
Come out, Camille. Let's do this right now. I'll fly you out here myself.
I know it's probably $29 to fly out there.
It's costing my pocket change to fly you out here for $7. No, for real. If you want to come out, come out.
One of these days I want to, but I would love to go check it out. And so tell us a little bit. Tell our viewers about your strategies and what the tests do for your coaching and for the athletes.
Yeah. So okay, that's funny. This stuff is kind of funny how it all worked out. Because I try to consider myself like in between the like scientist and the bro, right? I think that they both have their ways, you know? And when I was younger, all I cared about was like the science of it, right? The scientist stuff of it. And I would like research and be like, no, that doesn't work because of this, right? And what I found out was like, well, the guys that are winning are doing those things though. Like and a lot of times what will happen is that the research doesn't catch up to the meathead who figured it out in the gym 5 years earlier, or that what the meathead figured out 5-10 years earlier in the gym. It doesn't make sense to ever try to do a research on it because it doesn't, like, no one's ever going to fund that, you know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of times you got to be open to that stuff. And that's why you see you'll see like a lot of scientist guys who are like, oh, it only works this way. It only works this way. And then I'm like, really? Because what have you ever done? Like, who have you ever prepped? What have you won? Like, and they're like, no, it only works this way. And I'm like, dude, you're doing INBF shows like against 8 guys and you won, and you're like, congratulations, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
So, and that's what you run into, you run into that. And so it's like, but the guys who are doing really well, the really top guys, and I don't consider myself one of the really top guys, but the really top guys, they're doing combinations of these things. So, so for me, it's always about figuring out more information. And what happened was, so this is kind of a weird story. So like, if you ever heard any of my like interviews or whatever before, like I grew up really, really poor. I always talk about it because I think that it keeps me humble and everyone like, and like I tell you, like my mom grew up, she didn't even have a room. So she slept on the bed, on a couch, so my aunt and her slept head to head on the couch. I had a room, my sister had a room, like we had nothing, so I'm used to that. I'm used to not having anything. And I don't care to have what I have now, I'm like, I'm really blessed. I'm really happy that we do have more. But at the same time, like, because of like the neighborhood I grew up in, I think that bodybuilding kind of kept me safe. It kept me off the streets. A lot of my friends aren't around anymore when I was growing up with. And so like, I could have easily gone down that road and it was available to me. And luckily the gym kept me safe. And I know that there's like, and so the gym means more to me than it does to like most people. Yeah. So what I've done over the years as I've kind of grown as a trainer is I've taken pretty much all the money I've made and put it back into Team Elite Physique. So sometimes this stuff, it doesn't even make sense to buy it, but I'm just buying it because it might do something, it might help a little bit. I might learn something else about it, because the money, I'm not that guy just going to like, I don't care about it. So I'm not going to like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, so it's like buy more exercise stuff. I don't know. So we have here now, so for 7 years, I paid myself like $2,000 a month. And then I saved up and I bought this building that we're in, the Contest Prep Center. Wow. It makes no sense to have because I don't charge anyone to come to the Contest Prep Center. Like you can come here for free. Everyone comes here for free. I mean, people come here for free all the time. Like other teams, other coaches, other whatever, I don't charge them. So they work out here, they do posing here for free. There's obviously we charge for certain things, but we have doctors in the office. So they do hormone testing. So they can test your testosterone, estrogen, thyroid, all these different things, anything like fitness related, hormones, growth hormone, whatnot. And we try to figure out everyone's. They come in, they test. We have EMG sensors. So we can hook up sensors to you and figure out like how you're contracting. Try to eliminate exercises that aren't working for what you think they're working for. So that's a big one. We'll hook you up on all these sensors and be like, okay, you want to work on your glute tie-in. So we'll put like sensors on the girl's glute tie-in or the guy's like upper chest. And we'll be like, okay, do the exercise you think work best for you. And then a lot of times they're doing them and it doesn't work that much at all. And they'll get higher readings on something else. We try to find like the most efficient way for them to exercise with those tests. And then if they have muscles that aren't contracting, I just got a Newbie New Fit, which is like another like $20,000 machine where it basically sends electrical signal to the muscle and it overrides their nervous system to have forced contraction. So like they'll come in here and they'll get forced contractions on lagging body parts. Hopefully when they leave, those contractions will still be higher than when they came in. And then they can do that every now and then and try to get more recruitment. We do metabolic testing. We do 3D scanning. We have a physical therapist in here, and we have a guy who does Graston and cupping. I have a lot of specialists that are elite coaches too. So like, I'm obviously like the face of it, but there's probably coaches I have that are probably smarter than me. I have a guy who's like going to school to be an endocrinologist. All of my coaches have degrees in exercise related fields. I have a girl who went to school for dietetics who went to her went to a dietetic internship to be a registered dietitian. So like, and I have pro posing coaches that are here, pro men's physique, bikini. So like the group encompassing is insane. Like it's insane group of people. Like the conversations we have here on like a normal day is like nuts. Like we'll just be talking about something and then like some expert walks by and says something and then some other expert walks by and battles him. And I'm like, what's going on in this like office here? Like it's crazy group of people that are just obsessed with fitness. It's kind of cool to be honest. But
yeah, that sounds awesome. It sounds like a really great environment to be surrounded by.
Yeah, it's cool. And the only way it happens is if you're not selfish, you know, you have to like, the only way this happens is if you're either like really, really like rich and you just create it, or you just don't pay yourself for years and you like sacrifice to get it. So for me, it was the latter. And I just put every dollar we could into the prep center and into the athletes, and they get paid very well. And I don't pay myself that much. So it's like, it's just about like, at this point, it's just about like trying to be the best that we can be. And yeah, that's what it is. It's somehow it's a full-time job now. I don't know. I don't know.
It's whenever you have an athlete going out there to do their testing and they post on their stories, I love watching it because it's so fascinating.
So interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to be honest. Like it's pretty cool. And what's cool is like the athletes will send me stuff that I don't know what it is, you know, they'll be like, what do you think of this? And like a week later I'll get it. And I'm like, I don't know. I bought it though. Let's see what it does.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. It's cool. It's like the companies now, like they've kind of, the companies have like seen us do that. And so now they like reach out to us and they like give us better like deals on stuff too. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
That's really cool. Really cool. So I would love to hear about, well, I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear about, you know, you came onto the scene as a contest prep coach. And I, you know, in my opinion, and when I started really hearing your name is when Ashley Kaltwasser went onto your roster. So how did you and Ashley end up deciding to work together? How did that relationship start? And obviously you guys have been very successful together, bringing her back to the stage after her 3-time Miss Olympia win. Of course the goal is to go back and get that title again, right? Oh yeah, that's always the goal, right? I mean, for every one of our girls, that's the goal. Right. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, I hope we can get one. I know that Ashley's better than she's ever been, but the problem is the criteria is changing and evolving, and you know, we'll see where we go. You know, this year now is all about balance and symmetry. Originally, it was about her reaching her conditioning and reaching the muscularity of the division that she needed to have now to be there. And then we did that, and then we went a little bit past it at one point. We realized where the cap was for her, and then we looked at like her next to Janet and Issa at the Arnold, and we're like, okay, you're just a little bit thicker on the legs than they are. We need to kind of tone you down more of the criteria. So now we're in this like sculpting phase, and so it's, you know, that's how bikini is. It's you evolve. And the cool thing is Ashley's like on the same page as me. She's not afraid to push the limits, and a lot of people are. I'm not. I will always push the limits, and I'm like, the honest truth is if you're not first, it doesn't matter. So like,
you know, whatever it takes to get to that first place, even if you really push it and you end up dead last, well, at least you know that's not going to work now, you know, and then you have somewhere to go. So you go here, and if you go way over here and they say no, then okay, it's somewhere over here. And then, okay, it's somewhere over here. So like, it takes a while, and Ashley's on board with it. She's like, hey, whatever, let's just do it. You know, let's get shredded. Let's get bigger. Let's get this. Let's see what is it going to take. And so we've gotten really, really close now of like what that final look is. I have a vision of what it looks like, and we're really, really close to it. But how we started was we did a posing class in like 2014 or something together. That was like, I mean, I don't remember the date, maybe in 15. And then when I would go out to LA, we'd train once in a while. We were friends. We maintained friendship. She, you know, she'd always like, I'd send her workouts to do based on how she was performing and stuff. I would send her stuff back then, but I was never like her. Back then, I just wasn't like her coach. I didn't want to deal, honestly, at that point, I just really didn't want to deal with that like type of pressure. Because it was, you know, 5 years ago back then, and she was already winning. So we were just friends, and we would train once in a while and, you know, stay in contact and stuff. And, you know, if you're winning the Olympia and you're doing it on your own, which she was doing with, and I was like, where are we going to go from here? Like, you're already doing.
Coaching her. Was she coaching herself? No.
Back then, yeah. So her first Olympia, she had like a real small team of like coaching, but her coach never even went to the Olympia, like never even went.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, I mean, she was pretty much on her own, you know, she was like pretty much on her own the whole time. And then, you know, she'd have like a lot of like guys that were like in her corner, you know, type of thing, like she'd ask questions to whatnot. I'd go train with her. She'd go train with this guy. She'd mix it up. But, you know, you got to remember back then, you didn't need to be so hard. You didn't need to be so, you know, perfectly balanced. It was a glute and flat stomach and a little bit of shoulder division. You know, it was like bikini, and it was like the definition of like bikini. Now it's like bikini now is a little bit more like figure used to be, you know, so and there's a lot more strict criteria on balance, on conditioning, on, you know, different looks for different structures, you know, so it's a lot different now. So now it's a lot, you know, it takes a more of an expert eye. But yeah, she came out a couple times, and then we started back up because she retired, and I was like, okay, now if Ashley were to come back, like now I would be comfortable taking her on because all the pressure is relieved, right? It's all, you know, you're not taking on a Miss Olympia to win another title, because the only where you can go from that is if she wins again, it's like, oh, of course she won. She was Ashley. But if she gets 10th place, you're like, oh, he messed her all up. And you're like, you know, it's a lot of like unnecessary, like I'm just an easygoing guy. I'm not trying to take over the world anymore. So, you know, at one point I was so gun-ho on like being the best guy ever. And now I'm like, it's just not even possible. So I just not even gonna, cause you could never define that. So like, I'm just gonna have fun with it and live it. And like, if something's too crazy for me, someone else can handle it. But no, so at that point she retired. And then I was just in my office one day with Tori, who's like she was like my main person. And I was like, we're just talking, and I'm like, I wonder what Ashley's up to now. She's like, you think you'd take her on now? Like if she would like ask you? And I was like, I would totally take her on now. Like it's like a comeback. It'd be fun. You know, the expectation of her to win isn't there. They're just like seeing what's going to happen. It was like a fun journey, you know? For her, it was like the pressure wasn't there. For me, it was like the pressure wasn't there. It was just like, let's just have fun and see what happens, you know? We're hoping, of course we're hoping. But yeah, so I reached out to her, and it was really crazy. I reached out to her and I just sent her an email, and I didn't know this, but that same day, she was at a national show or something the weekend before, and it was like the Monday or something. And Tori asked me, I wonder what Ashley's up to. I was like, I don't know, you know, whatever. I'll send her an email. I'll train her now. She just told her friend a couple hours earlier, she was like, I think I want to come back. I think I want to do a comeback. And then her friend Lucy goes, well, who would you train with? She goes, she's like, I would train with Adam. If he would work with me, I would train with Adam. That's who I would train with. And then an hour, 2 hours later, my email popped up like, hey, what have you been up to? You ever thought about coming back? Like, it was crazy. Like, it was like meant to be.
A sign. Yeah.
It still gives me goosebumps because like that doesn't happen, you know?
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, and then it was just like, we've always been friends, but we weren't like how we are now, you know? Like now it's like, I've never had like a relationship with anyone like I have with her, like really kind of period, like even like a close friend, you know? So
you guys seem like brother and sister sometimes, like it's family.
Yeah, it's totally a different level. I don't think we'll ever not be in each other's lives at this point. You know, like it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's hard to, I don't even not talk to her for a day. It's weird. It just came to, it's a whole nother level. And I'm a really hard guy to connect with because I'm so busy. But for when Ashley's around, like everything, you know, it's just like, there's a few people that like kind of get in my friend zone, but I'm just kind of not, it's just hard because I'm so busy, you know, but with her, it's like, yeah, it's just different. It's a different scenario. So it definitely creates a different dynamic for the training, the training scenario. But we're able to really separate that whole coach, athlete, friend thing really well. And yeah, I have there's a couple other people that I've gotten like really close with too. And it's like, it's cool because it opened that door for me that I never had before. I kind of closed that door off. So now I work with less bikini pros now because I want to have those relationships. So like I'm super close with Phoebe. I talk to Frida like every day. Like we just send each other stupid stuff. I'm just close. You know, me and Danny send stupid stuff to each other. It's like almost like brother sister type of relationships, you know, like joking.
That's a really cool roster that like they're all really funny, cool, down to earth girls.
Yeah, they're all similar personality types, right? They're all like fun and goofy and like, yeah. It's just, they know they're going to get with me because I don't fake anything. I'll make a fool of myself. I'll wear a wig. I don't care. So I take on less pros now because of that. At one point I was taking on a lot and it was like, pro preps are hard, you know, like amateur preps, you get away with a lot more because the room you have at an amateur prep versus a pro prep is totally different, you know, like at a national level in a national show, there's going to be 30 girls in a class, but there's really going to be like 6 girls in a class. There's really going to be like 6 girls where it's like, okay, those 6, I could see an argument while they'll turn pro. It's not all 30 of them, you know, and it's, if you say that it is, you're joking yourself, you know, you can clearly see it's not. And so those preps, there's a lot more margin of error to turn someone pro. But once you're pro, every girl's genetically gifted. Every girl has a superior structure. Every girl has an awesome coach. And it's like, you're competing against now, not just the best genetics and structures, you're competing against the best minds behind those structures. So like, that's why I've kind of like slowed it down because I never wanted it to turn into like a business either. Like I have zero intentions of that, of like trying to make as much as I can with this. I wanted to put out the best like quality and have the most fun. Like the fun is the biggest factor because when you have 30 pros and you're at like, you know, pros are harder than amateurs. They require more. They're also more like nitpicky too. They want to give their input too more. And they have the right to because they know their body better than amateurs do. And so, you know, you can't, I haven't been able to balance having 30 pros in a format where it's like with my amateurs at the same time, still giving them the attention because a pro will take, you know, 4 times the time as an amateur, you know? So yeah, so now I kind of reduced my number and I'm happy with where it's at now. So
can I ask about Erin Stern and her comeback and everything?
Yeah, so with you could ask about Erin Stern. I don't have I'm not Erin.
Bringing back.
So Erin Stern came in to the prep center and we went through a day. We know what sucks is I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her, which really sucked. Because
wait, really quick, Camille, can you brief everyone on who Erin Stern is? Because I'm sure there's going to be people watching this. They're like, who is Erin Stern?
I know, I was just thinking the same thing. Adam, tell us who Erin Stern is.
So Erin Stern is the MF and man is who Erin Stern is. She is 2-time Miss Figure Olympia, and she's gone from, and you know what's also cool? I want to throw this out there, even though like, I hate that there's like a thing in our industry where we can't talk about certain things we're supposed to talk about. Like that's like the most important things. So Erin Stern is a lifetime natural athlete, lifetime natty, 100%, zero question. Do a test on her, 100% of the time she's going to come up natty, right? It's crazy. And she won 2-figure Olympias. Now the division has changed and it's more muscular now. And so she's going to bikini and she's still going to be 100% natural. So, I think first off, for you girls out there that think like, hey, you need to do these things, like there's a lot of physiques out there who've earned the right not to. Now, I'm not going to say everyone, whatever, you do your thing. Not 100% of my athletes aren't natural. I'm not going to ever BS anyone. But there's a lot that are. A lot of even my pros are. So it's just cool for people to hear that, you know, that it's actually like And
A
I
thing.
can confirm that 100%, no BS. So,
Right.
so super cool. So she's going to Bikini now. She's switching back to Bikini. I think she's 40 now. So she's awesome. She's real cool. She's a role model to a lot of people. Great physique, obviously great physique. And she's going to Bikini. So she came out here once. I'm still not sure if I'm going to coach her for her first show or not. That's the thing, is Erin Stern's always coached herself. That's another scenario, right? Yeah, I could take her on, but it's going to take a lot of like trust on her end, and it's going to take a lot of figuring out. And that's one of those situations too, where it's like, hey, we're going to try something totally new, because we kind of have to, because you're going to Bikini now, and we're going to use my eye, and you're going to have to kind of trust it. So it's that balancing act, right? So as of now, she came in, she didn't get to spend a lot of time here because it was weird. She flew in on like a crazy day. It was like a snowstorm. And she flew in, we spent like, I want to say like 5-6 hours together, went through a bunch of tests, went through some things, looked at her, hooked her up on EMG sensors, did a scan, all that, did her posing. We really did a lot with her posing, changed her posing. Anya Nicholson, who's a pro bikini competitor in here, she did a lot of posing with her too. And we switched that around, and she's like, I gotta go because I'm flying out because the snowstorm's coming in harder tonight. And so we didn't get to spend a lot of time with her. Originally, she was gonna stay for like 2 days. And so we're in contact here and there, but it's not like, we're not like fully on coaching type thing. I'm like more of like, we're just more like, if you want to call it like consulting right now. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. So that's someone that I would, because it'd be really fun.
I think it'd be, yeah. I mean, watching her, and to add to her, her comeback, even just from transitioning over, she actually left the federation for a little bit, and she had to then requalify. Even
I was
though
gonna leave that part out.
figure lifting, she had to go to nationals again. She had to win her overall in the national show, and then she was finally got her pro title in the IFBB again. But yeah, watching her transition, her story, and then watching her journey at your facility was so much fun to watch. I think I watched that twice.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, she's really sweet. Yeah, we'll see. I just haven't spent that much time, that time. I'll let, you know what? I don't ever like, I guess you'll say, like, I don't like chase anyone, if she wants to prep with me 100%, I'd really like, she's someone I definitely consider a friend. I definitely would 100% do it. But I'm going to let her make that decision too on her own. And she kind of saw what I had, what I thought, what not to. And if that opinion doesn't line up, it doesn't line up, but I'll still be cheering for her either way. But yeah, I think we'll still be in contact when she's starting to do her preps. We text once in a while and whatnot right now. So we'll see.
Cool.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I have a question. This is a slightly off topic. But Adam, you and I were briefly emailing about this last week, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me personally. I own a gym here in Santa Cruz. You own a gym out there in Colorado. And a lot of people have been asking me, who are personal trainers around the country, how can they evolve with this whole COVID crisis that we're going through? A lot of them are out of work and are not able to train their clients. They're not getting unemployment. But there are some people who are figuring out how to evolve with the time. Do you have any advice on what you guys are doing with your trainers, or for someone who is an independent contractor to evolve through this difficult time that we're in?
So one of the things that, a lot of our trainers, our coaches are really not down that much in their, we service at least like 100 sessions a week here at this place. So quite a few. Yeah, we do. It's a surprising group that we have. But a lot of them just went to FaceTime training sessions. And the thing is, like, here's the thing, like when you're with an athlete or with a client for a long period of time, they become your friend, like me and Ashley, right? We've been together for years and we're really close. The same thing happens with those relationships. So I think that a lot of the thing is the trainers, they're kind of afraid to ask for that initial, hey, you want to do this through FaceTime, right? Or through whatever, Zoom, because they think that it's like less than. But if you're a good trainer and you believe in your skill set, you should be able to pick up anything and do and take someone to the next level. Worst case scenario, they're going to get a better workout than they would have gotten if they would have just done it on their own.
Yeah.
And a lot of the thing is right now is just keeping someone accountable, which is super, super big. And I think a lot of trainers are just giving up. And they're just like, oh, well, the gyms are closed. I'm like, so what? You know, like you've never worked out with someone outside, or you've never had a broken machine you couldn't use where you had to use something else. Like dumbbells and bands, you could do a lot with, you know? And especially like, you know, you just get a TRX band, you can do a lot with that. I don't see this. So we have a lot of trainers doing FaceTimes here, like nonstop. Now we're also in this like unique situation here because we do have doctors, we do have physical therapists, we do have dietitians and stuff. So we're allowed to be open.
You're essential.
Yeah. Now the training area can't be there unless a physical therapist is like
supervising.
There, like supervising.
There.
Yeah. So yeah, you get where I'm going. So so yeah, our trainers haven't been down too far, and the city has come into the building already once to check on it, and they've given us a green light on it for the most part because we have a weird situation. So yeah, because we do have those things, you know. So it's the cities come in and they're like, even the city council got involved with our spot, and they're like, well, they're more of like a wellness center than a gym. They don't have. Now I did stop doing posing. I stopped doing cardio in the gym because people are breathing so hard. I stopped doing open gym workouts where everyone could just come in at any time. So now it's like, you know, if they're under supervision and that trainer's under a physical therapist or under a doctor type of scenario, then it's like, you know, so it's just, it was a weird area. And the city just said, hey, just keep it smart and be smart about it and keep it under, we never have more than, it's a 6,000 square foot building, and we've never had more than 10 people in the building at one time.
Oh, you guys are totally, yeah, you guys are fine.
Yeah, it's pretty big in here. So like, it's like you have like almost 1,000 square feet per person. It's like, it's kind of crazy, you know? So yeah.
Yeah, there was the podcast with like 5 big, like owner of Bally's, Mark Mastroff with 24 Hour Fitness, some other very powerful individuals last week, and they were talking about like what the gyms are going to be looking like when they reopen. And after the SARS pandemic in China, they were allowed about 100 or one person for every 100 to 200 square feet, which is about a 6 foot diameter or 6 foot radius around each person. So depending upon your size and the model, that's going to be really, you know, impact the speed of reopening and all the restrictions.
Yeah, we have people now. We're kind of open now in Colorado, so all the cities around us are open. And as of Friday, we can do personal training sessions, like one-on-one sessions, without like a supervision of any without that are non-physical therapy or whatever. So we have a gym in Loveland my friend owns called Fit Gym Loveland, and they started doing Friday, I think it was. They opened up. And they were allowed to do it like per, so you're just booking a session. So like you're booking a time. So almost like if you had a kid, like you're booking child's care, like 1 hour workout, you're doing the same thing now for the gym. I was told that we could be 30% occupancy, but we're not even going to reach that. Like we're not even going to be at 30% occupancy. We're unless it's like an open gym situation, we don't even reach our 30% occupancy. So our occupancy in our gym spot is like 48 people. That's what we're limited to. And then upstairs is like 28. So we're like at 75. So 30% of that's 45 people in here. We never have 45 people in here. That's crazy, you know? So yeah, we'll be fine with our occupancy. I don't know about the big gym. I feel really bad for the big gyms, honestly. That sucks, you know, for the big gyms. Like
we have about 2,700 members at our gym. It's a box gym. It's an old Gold's gym that we purchased, and we've, you know.
I didn't know that. That's
What's
cool. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Sarah was out there.
It's a really cool gym. I love it. Love it.
And we should have you. You need to come out and be a part of it.
I'll do it.
I know you're going to be there. But yeah, it's very stressful. It's very stressful. But we're doing the same thing. I've been building out the whole appointment scheduling for people to make their time slot based on how many people we're going to be. We're in California, so we're still waiting for the regulations. But gyms are, you know, people are going to be having to, you know, when everybody goes back to their workouts, it's still going to be wearing masks, wiping down machines. You did an amazing video on your sterilization process and testing the germs. You know, but people are going to have to be, you know, practicing that social distancing even when we open back up. But I know everyone's antsy to get back into the gym.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
glad.
that's
I'm
for sure.
happy that you watch. It sounds like you watched a couple of my videos, and it makes me really happy, Camille, because I watch yours too. But I didn't know
She
you.
has, and I actually, it was, I don't know, it was maybe like 3 weeks ago. We were talking about vacuuming, and I had then seen your video on vacuuming, so that I like DM'd it to Camille, and I was like, here, this is what we were talking about. And then all of a sudden, we're both, you know, watching a bunch of videos. Camille was watching before too.
Me, Adam, perfect. Okay, so we to Angelica, some other badass females, and trying to figure out the gosh darn vacuum. Can you explain to us how to do the vacuum?
Oh yeah, that's it. So okay. So here's the thing about like waist training. I'm like, you know what's funny is I'm totally like the double-edged sword on waist training. Like there's such a positive and such a negative thing that goes with it. And I'm like the
Let's hear it.
Right? So what really makes me mad is that these like scientist guys are like, it doesn't work because it's not proven by research, right? And I'm like, go to, so anyone who's watching this, go to YouTube, type in waist training like extreme or world's smallest waist, and there's a bunch of girls who take this to the extreme. I would never ever recommend someone taking it to the extreme ever. So like, make sure if you're a bikini and you try to take it to the extreme and you're losing like a natural looking shape, you're just going to destroy your physique. It's not going to look good in any capacity just because you got down to, there's girls who get down to 16-inch waists, you know? And so like, they're extreme, you know? But then you have like these scientist guys like, oh, it doesn't work. I'm like, dude, what about evidence-based approaches that you guys say? Obviously it works. Obviously it works. I'm like, oh, it compresses the organs and it's really bad for them. And I'm like, every one of us that's alive has compressed organs in our life, and no one remembers it. No one talks about it. But when you're inside your mom, you are compressing their organs to the extreme for not just a couple hours a day. We're talking for months at a time. And guess what? They're all fine, right? And so there's no like, I've never seen any evidence-based on waist training in particular, waist training, that it caused damage, especially with like short-term things. And then no one talks about, oh, when you're pregnant, you're pushing organs against each other from the inside, the same type of compression you would be if you're forcing from the outside to inside, right? So people they don't think, they lose their shit about it. They're just like, oh, it's bad for you. I'm like, have you seen anything? Because as soon as I see something that says it's bad, I won't be an advocate of it, you know? But I haven't seen anything. And I've like, people tell me all the time, like, well, send me something, send it to me, you know? And then I'll say, what about this? I'm like, oh, it doesn't work. I'm like, what about this video? Watch it. And they're like, oh, well, it works for her, but she's doing it all day. I'm like, it still works. Like, even if it's a little bit. So it comes from a bunch of different things. So one, waist training, it does work.
I do. I use them.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
You know, it does. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, don't use it. I don't care. So like, all I can say is like a lot of the girls on top use them. That's like, and I could say a large percentage of the girls on top use them. You know,
every single contest prep I've ever done definitely used a waist trainer during cardio, throughout the day, all of it.
I mean, I don't think I don't think people even hide it now. Issa's always in one, you know, like you see it in the pictures all the time. You know, it's like, it's not a bad thing. People are like, oh, I won't do that. I'm like, don't, that's fine. I can't help if you don't want to do that, but the top, you know, like 80% of the top 20 do. I don't know what to tell you. So that's part of it, right? But I don't think that you ever should take that to the extreme, because it will take away your natural shape at a certain point. So, but if you want to get, you know, an inch or two off your waist that way, great. But the next thing it comes down to is going to be like your food volume, your overall food volume, you know? Like if you're a girl who blows up in the off season and eats a whole bunch, yes, that's going to affect your waistline when you get to stage ready. I mean, you see, and you're like, no, it won't. Well, look at every single bodybuilder now. And everyone's always like, oh, these bodybuilders have the roid guts, right? They were talking all about it when Phil won, and they're talking about Dexter having it or whatever too. And I'm like, it's not a roid gut. Those guys have been doing the same supplements they have their entire career. All of a sudden, they didn't just get roid guts, you know? Like, what happens is nowadays bodybuilders are way bigger than they used to be. You know, they're way bigger, and that requires way more food. So they're eating way more food, and they have way bigger stomachs than they used to have. So yeah, it looks like you can make that correlation of, oh, it's steroids and doing it, but it's not. That's not what's happening. They're just eating way more food, and so their stomachs are way bigger. So yeah, if you're a girl who puts on 30 pounds in the off season right after a show, every show you're transforming into a show instead of being a fitness athlete like you're supposed to be, and instead of you're being a transformation athlete, right? Yeah, you're going to have a bigger waistline. Sorry. That's the truth, right? And now so that's food volume is part of it, right? And then the other thing is like minimizing your inflammation. And we test people for inflammation, especially high level preps. We'll test people for the like inflammation to see if we can get their waistline smaller. And I've had girls, Kelly Smith is a pro I work with. I had her, it was crazy. She couldn't get her waistline, like at the end, we could have got it smaller. I knew we could have got it smaller. And I was like, I wonder why. She's like, yeah, I just get bloated sometimes. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, it's gotta be something you're eating. Let's just clean it all up, right? So we cleaned it all up. I'm like, let's just be extra cautious for like a couple weeks and just see what happens, right? And she'd still have it. And then I was like, you know what, let's just test it. It's an expensive test. So it's like $400 plus, it's like $400. So I was like, let's just see, maybe there's something. But she was so clean at that point. I just didn't think there would be anything, you know, all the normal things that trigger that were gone. And then we found out she was sensitive to coffee and sensitive to cinnamon, right?
Oh,
Wow.
Weird.
Interesting.
Right? So anyone could be sensitive to anything. And she was putting cinnamon in her coffee every morning. I was like,
Oh,
I know, it was like the worst case scenario. And so she's like,
double whammy.
like, that's like the one thing I have. I'm like, well, at least we know we have all these other things you could have now with no problem. And so she eliminated that, and then instantly her waistline was down an inch, right? So like these are all little things that matter. And then the vacuuming too, the vacuuming does work. Now, here's the problem with the vacuuming. When you do all those things together in conjunction at one time, everything's working to some capacity. So I don't know how much more the vacuuming is helping. I just know it helps to some capacity, some degree. Worst case scenario, it helps you when you're on stage holding your stomach a little bit tighter, right? But so to vacuum right, you breathe out all your air. So you breathe out all your air, right? And then pretend you're sucking in through your stomach, but you do it without sucking in any air. So you just bring your stomach in without sucking in air. And it's pretty brutal.
Okay, my question is, when you get to that point, when you've exhaled everything out and you're pulling your belly button into your spine, do you contract your muscles, or do you just kind of suck?
You just suck in. Suck in everything. You almost like suck like in and up. Like you can like feel it go up and in.
Like when you were like a little kid and you used to suck in.
Exactly. But you do it without breathing any air, because when you have the air in your lungs, it's harder to suck in the actual as much as you need to suck in. The best time to do is like when you first wake up in the morning and you're laying in bed, like you have no food in your stomach. That's like when you can get the strongest vacuums. And so that's like level 1 on your back. And then like the last level is you go above your head like this, and then you do it like this. Exercise. And you see some of these girls with like tiny waistlines, they can do crazy vacuums. If you ever want to see a crazy vacuum, talk to Kimmy Gutierrez. She sent me a video of her vacuuming one time. I was like, Kimmy, I've never even seen anything like that. She vacuumed and put her hand like under her rib. Like it was crazy. Yeah, she's a master of the vacuum. Like under her rib where it was like this. Like her fingers were gone. And she was going like this and like forcing it a little more. I was like, it's just, and that's why, but look at her waistline. It's like this. Kimmy's got a tiny waistline. It is. Yeah, she's a master of the vacuum. So Ashley's really good at it too. Kimmy's, I would say, more of a student than Ashley is. Like, I think Kimmy does it like all the time because it's crazy to see her vacuum.
Well, she's from South America, and they're all about it.
Oh yeah, she's like the main girl in Chile, the #1 girl in Chile.
Yeah, Chile. She's from Argentina, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We were actually just talking about that, and we like the day that we were talking about on our podcast, you posted a video.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't hide anything. If you wanted to like learn how to be a coach, just watch my channel or learn like what's funny is that like we give out so much free information, and that I have girls like that will tell me it's so funny. Like they'll be like, oh, I basically did everything you did. I was like self-coach, but I basically just did everything you did. So you're like basically my coach. And I'm like, am I like really hurting myself at this point? With like, but I don't care.
I think it's smart for any business model to give some free, you need to give some free things. You need to give some things back to the community also. And in return, you're going to gain people's trust. You're going to, you know, people are going to become more aware of who you are. And I think it comes back in return.
Yeah, maybe it does. Yeah. I have fun with it. Honestly, we just shoot stuff all the time. We have a content creator in the office. So they just tell me what to shoot and whatnot. And then, you know, and then we have like all the coaches and they come up with their ideas and they're like, oh, this week I want to do this. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then we just throw it up. So yeah, you just never know what's going to come out of here. But it's
great.
Cool. We don't have, the cool thing is like, we've put ourselves in a financial position where we don't like need to make money anymore. So that's kind of the cool thing, because I didn't pay myself for like so long, you know. And to get this building, I had to sell my house. I sold my cars. I slept on the floor of my office when I was rebuilding it. And I paid it off cash. I don't have any mortgage on the building, so I don't have any rent. So like when this when this COVID stuff happened, you know, like I was like, well, I'll make sure my trainers make money. I make sure that they're still staying around because they need it more than I do. My worst case scenario is I got this place to stay at if I need to. But so it's kind of nice to like not need to make anything anymore. And it's just like, hey, I just want to have fun with it and give back. And so the next facility that we're actually building a new facility.
Very cool.
I bought the land in November. I know nothing about building anything, so I'm figuring it out as I go. But
You're going to build it yourself?
No, I wish.
Camille.
I don't know.
Welcome to the Bikini Show.
No, I'm building it to be like the ultimate contest prep center. And then we're gonna eventually build one in Vegas too. But it'll be like a smaller thing. But I think that having that's gonna be really big, and that's where, you know, me and Ashley are gonna work together forever. So at some point, I'm sure she'll be she'll be out there doing more stuff and stuff too. So, but no, I like Vegas. Vegas is cool. So the one that we're building out here, it's 12,000 square feet. We're in the process of engineering of everything. And it's 12,000 square feet, but there's three like apartments, if you want to call them, in there, 3 small apartments. So now when people are prepping for like the Olympia or whatever, prepping for a big show, they could come stay here for a month and like, and actually like train every day and learn every day. And obviously when Ashley comes out, she could stay at one or whatever. Like Phoebe's coming out probably for like, she's going to come out for like 2 months soon. She was supposed to already be here. Yeah. And so we're really close. Me and Phoebe are really close. And I have like an apartment in my basement, like a full apartment. So she stays there and so that'd be cool for like people like that who are overseas or whatever, or just want to come out and do like a fitness vacation. And so it'll be like an Airbnb. We'll have it where we rent out the rooms too, and people can come in and do all the tests and live the environment. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a gym.
Very cool.
Our offices, we have a huge posing room. We have 3 apartments. The gym's like, you know, the gym's like 4,500 square feet. So it's not like huge, but it's got 30-foot ceilings. It's got an outdoor workout area. You know, well, it'll be cool when it's all done, you know, so.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Well, Adam, we don't want to take up any more of your time. We know Ashley's there with you right now. And
Ashley lives here. It doesn't, it's like no different to her. She's like,
she's just fine.
Yeah, we'll be like not around each other for like 3 weeks, and she'll be like, I miss you, I want to come out and train. And I'm like, all right, come out. And and it's funny now, we're just so close. It's just like so normal. She'll just like send me her ticket and be like, hey, I'm coming out on the whatever. I hope you're there, but like her type of thing. And then I'll just do the same thing out there. So what's cool is, you can expect me to be in Vegas a lot more now too. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in Vegas. I'm going to probably have an office in Vegas this year. So, and then we'll be hopefully building there finding a building in 2021 probably. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
That's amazing. And just hearing your story from how you grew up to where you're at now, like that's very inspiring. It's very motivating. And I think it's a great message for a lot of people to hear. And your hard work has clearly paid off, and I commend you for that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like saying that because I feel like a lot of people, like even still people from my old neighborhood, like still use that excuse, you know? Like, oh, I came up with nothing. And I'm like, dude, so did I. And like I came up with less, like my dad actually like stole my money when I actually had some finally when I was like 21 and started again. You know, so like I had less than nothing. Even my closest person to me took all my money and I don't talk to him and you know, and forever. And like people just want to hide behind this excuse to like not be as much as they can be. And I'm like, hey, look, none of that's relevant to you getting to that level that you want to get at. And if it doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether it's like fitness or doing hair or nails or whatever, it doesn't matter. As long as you like give a shit and you like try to be the best, even if you're never the best, which I'm never going to be the best. I think there's coaches out there that are better than me that I have no problem saying are better than me. But the fact is I'm going to keep trying to be the best. And I will guarantee you I'm trying harder than they are to be the best than they are. You know, so eventually, yeah, hopefully I pass them. But as long as you just keep trying, no matter what it is, whether you're trying to be a pro bikini competitor, you're whatever it is in your profession, and you actually give a shit, you're going to accomplish great things. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is the perfect way to leave this entire episode because that's 100% right. And thank you so much, Adam, for all your time and your knowledge and information and sharing your story. I think a lot of people really enjoy watching this. And Camille, we have to ask him, what are you watching on Netflix?
What's your favorite show to binge?
You.
Okay, so I did watch Tiger King. I did watch that.
Okay.
That was some crazy stuff. I'm a documentary guy. And then you know what I watched, which is really cool? I will say, if anyone's out there stuck at home, watch all of the Fittest on Earth. Even though I'm not a CrossFit guy, that is so awesome to watch.
Watch them all last week. They are so badass.
Dude, they're badass. Those guys are some machines, man. I don't know. Why does Bob talk smack on CrossFit guys? That's so dumb. I'm like there'll be like, oh, CrossFit, like a meme where it's like CrossFit guy like making fun of them. I'm like, dude, those guys are legit, bro. Like I'll guarantee you, like most CrossFit guys will beat up most bodybuilders.
They make us look like make bodybuilders look just like so.
Yes.
Basic.
Those guys are no joke, man. It's so fun to watch athletes like that.
Field, go.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah.
The other one is The Fittest in Dubai. Have you seen that documentary?
Oh, I didn't see that one because I watched that's a lower level, right? Or is that the Fittest on Earth Championship thing too?
Well, I think it's like another one just at that the same competitors. It's the same competitors, but it's The Fittest in Dubai, and that one is really great too.
Okay. It's probably like an Arnold Classic versus like an Olympia type of scenario.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have some catching up to do on that then.
Well, thanks guys for your time. Both of you come out.
Yeah. We can do a whole special.
Both of you come out.
Adam, where can everybody find you?
I am at pretty much everything's at Team Elite Physique. So Team Elite Physique on Instagram, youtube.com/Team Elite Physique. And podcast. We got Bikini and the Brain podcast I do with Ashley, which has turned out to be really cool. We just did it as like an idea, and we both like don't listen to podcasts, so it's like zero. We went in so green. We're like, let's just record something, and then we're like, oh shit, people actually listen to that. Let's just keep it going.
People listen to right now.
we're at 33 podcasts so far, and like it started off with we still haven't listened to like other podcasts. So I don't know.
Great.
I don't know if we're doing it right.
Something's working.
Yeah, people need entertainment right now, and having any kind of connection is great. But Adam, I want to come out and visit you. I'm gonna be visiting you.
Yeah, I'll fly you both out. It's fun. Okay, this is what I tell. We can
do a whole special on it.
Yeah, so this is what I tell people. I tell them, if you come out and you give back to my athletes and the athletes in Colorado, so if you do a posing class and teach them and talk to them like a 1-hour seminar or whatever of posing, I'll pay for everything for you guys to come out. I'll pay for your hotel because I want to give back to community. So if you come out and just give back to the athletes and let them learn a little bit, then yeah, come on out. I'll pay for it. So
the Bikini Show special.
Do
in
it.
Denver, Colorado.
Do it up.
Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like we'll be cooking up something special later on in the year then. Definitely.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Best of luck to you. We look forward to seeing you soon, and hopefully we'll get this show rolling quicker than we know what I'm trying to say.
RCA.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
it ended. All right.
And
You guys.
spread the message. Yeah.
Bye, Adam. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
See you later.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great. Whew. Can't believe I made it when my laptop flashed and was like, you are on low battery life. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
That's happened to me. It sucks.
Oh, I do remember that happening to you, indeed.
Jen Runzi. Yeah, that episode.
Yeah.
One
Why
all.
does my laptop say 1%? Okay, whatever. Anyways, that was awesome.
That was great. Adam's I've met him
Down
just
to earth.
briefly in passing once, and yeah, he's just such a cool guy. Really nice guy, and his facility sounds remarkable. I want to go out and check it out. That should be.
I'm with you. I think we should both go. We can do a whole little thing on it. Super fun. Get an inside look at how he does it, what he does, and
Yeah,
have some fun.
I think so too.
Have fun. Little trip. The Bikini Show outside the houses.
Yeah, take on Colorado or Vegas. Ooh, fun.
Yeah. Ooh. Vegas.
So who do we have on our roster coming up? We have Hannah Franz.
Hannah Franz. We have been bringing you guys a lot of veterans, a lot of OGs, if you will. We're going to bring on Hannah Franz here, who is, been up and coming, definitely. And she is climbing her way to the top and got that Olympia qualification in December at the Battle of Texas. So, fingers crossed that we get these shows moving so that we have our Olympia, and whenever that may be, we're excited to see her on stage, but we can find out more about her recovery. I know she's recovering from broken wrist, and she just moved down to Florida too. So she's going to have a lot of fun things to talk about with us on that episode. And then who else do we have, Camille?
We have Priscilla coming on next week as well.
Yes. And someone else, don't we?
I think that's it for right now. I think we're trying to do catch up.
Yeah. But we're cranking. We're rolling.
Yeah. Well, probably don't take up any more of their time. We had a long intro. In fact, maybe Carly put at the end.
Right. So maybe you might see some of that at the end here, but until next time, Sarah Lyon.
Neil Periat, The Bikini Show.
We're out.
Signing out.